back here again. You're welcome to a fresh episode that we'll be bringing to you for you to know what is going on in relation to how this government is totally committed to moving the Nigerian economy forward. I remain your anchor, Omotayo Matisho. Road infrastructure will be looked at. It shows a lot of people from the diaspora have started showing interest in investing in Nigeria. I tell you, Nigeria is where to invest in. Relax and come along with us.
At this point, this series would have largely equipped our viewers with the wonderful activities the Federal Ministry of Works has been engaging in to give more meaning to the content of President Jonathan's transformation agenda, especially the issue of accountability, transparency, and what the minister in charge simply describes as Toknadu actions. For now, the average road user might feel somewhat edgy regarding all the campaigns at various quarters going on about the public-private partnership PPP, which the Federal Ministry of Works has embraced as a strong tool for the provision of public infrastructure. Again, the Road Sector Development Agency is now a good ally in development.
The future of road development in Nigeria is bright. I will tell you that now we are evolving from the past. We are moving into international best practices. Most of these roads will be developed because we are going into PPP, and we are also sourcing for loans from other donor agencies apart from the World Bank and the African Development Bank. And we're also putting in process in places to sustain the integrity of these roads in terms of long-term maintenance programs. So Nigerians should rest assured that it's not going to be business as usual.
In a world where even the biggest economies are shrinking and more attention is being devoted to prudence, many vehicle owners and road transport operators may not be excited about prospects of return of the toll gate on highways, which the PPP would ultimately entail. The Federal Ministry of Works, which is consciously supportive of the PPP procurement and maintenance method, further says that Nigerians should rest assured that the arrangement is the ultimate solution to roads that will not just take them there, but also last the distance.
This will enable very good, timely intervention into any occasions that may arise on any road, because the investment put in place by the private sector is going to be commensurate to the outputs they put on the road. So there is no investor who wants to do a bad job, because the money is not government funding, and there is good return on their investment over the period, and no good businessman wants to lose money. So he puts in the best at the beginning and does little maintenance throughout the life cycle of the project. So with PPPs, many of our roads will start getting to state of serviceability. With PPPs, most of the roads in Nigeria that are viable will be competitive with any other roads in other parts of the world.
The argument is that with good roads in place, the vehicle maintenance cost drops drastically, and the vehicle user is at the end the better for it, that is, happy about the overall cut in his expenses. Talking about the PPP, the Federal Ministry of Works should actually get commended for being in the vanguard of ministries and parastatals that have listened to the advice of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, on the way forward for public infrastructure procurement. But we must recall that while the ICRC is duly commendable, the Minister of Works, Architect Onolememen, in his good thinking, had always brought professional passion into his advocacy on modern ways of driving the Nigerian project as far as good roads for the comfort of his compatriots is concerned. One point of expression of his conviction was a hearing before a committee of the Nigerian House of Representatives. It was a direct revelation of the way forward for major Nigerian road projects.
The Golden Triangle Superhighway and the Second Lagos Outer Ring Road will not benefit from the federal budget. It is a scheme designed just like the way the Golden Quadrilateral was designed in India, which India was able to prosecute and finish within 10 years. It is a private sector thing. Government will not be funding the project. So because as a nation, we have actually stagnated in terms of road development. If you look at our road statistics in this country, it is the same statistics we have been quoting for the past 20 years. No nation can ever develop like that in the world. Because our road network is in a very deplorable condition, the government is not able to embark on major new roads. But that does not mean that the country should come to a standstill. So we are proposing to add about 5,000 additional kilometers of road to the network through private sector initiative. It will be entirely private sector owned because they interface with us and we know the interest it has generated even from international investors and all that. So it has nothing to do with government capacity to deliver on those existing roads. As government try to put the existing deplorable road network in good shape, the private sector, because of the profit motive, can also commence the development of this Golden Triangle and Second Lagos Outer Ring Road, because the project will be it will pay for itself, and so it doesn't worry the government expenditure because it will not even diminish government capacity to fund the existing project.
Jubilation may be ebbing now over the eventual takeoff of the long overdue concessioning of a second Niger Bridge by the Nigerian authorities to preferred bidders. Even as the current apostle of good roads for Nigeria, architect Mike Onolememen goes about the duty of executing a vital segment of President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda with his colleagues in the Federal Ministry of Works, including the Minister of State, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda. He knows that when completed, a second Niger Bridge will act as one of the milestones in the country's transition from a growing road network to major arterial roads, highways and connecting routes, just to ease commuting in Africa's second largest economy. The Minister of Works, architect Mike Onolememen, was addressing a gathering in Anambra State on the concessioning ceremony of a second Niger Bridge. Those in attendance, including Governor Peter Obi, former Nigerian minister and anti-fake drugs champion Dora Akunyili, and some cheerful Nigerians around, could well have preferred to stay glued to their seats for as long as architect Onolememen chose to speak.
Accordingly, the Federal Ministry of Works issued a letter of intent to the consortium for the concession of the bridge on the 20th of February 2013. Essentially, today we are here to appoint Your Royal Majesty and the good people of Anambra State the next phase for the realization of the second Niger Bridge, which Mr. President did promise to the good people of the southeastern zone of our country. The concession that was granted to Julius Berger Consortium primarily is to provide a second bridge over River Niger with approach roads that bypass the center of Onitsha and Asaba and connecting directly the Onitsha-Owerri Expressway, the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway, as well as the Asaba-Benin Expressway.
News of the concessioning of a second Niger Bridge was like rain after a long dry season. In fact, people were beginning to think of it as another white elephant project. Architect Onolememen further dropped words of good projection and fine outcome to the highly elated stakeholders there present.
It is envisaged that the main groundbreaking ceremony by Mr. President will take place at the end of these preliminary works. That is why the ministry is requesting the cooperation and support of the Anambra State government as well as the Anambra State community, especially the community of Onitsha, under the leadership of our Royal Majesty, our Royal Father, Obiachebe, CFR. We therefore crave the support of all stakeholders, especially the communities, on this alignment.
When it was time to react to the good news brought by the Minister of Works from Abuja, the happiness of Governor Peter Obi was the happiness of his people, and indeed all Nigerians whose travel comfort has been inhibited by just one bridge across the Niger.
The government of Anambra State will be your supervisors. You don't even need to send the representatives from Abuja. We'll be on site. We'll provide supervisors, we'll provide security. We will even look after those who are working there. If they want food, we will give them. We will be on that site every day. This bridge is important to us. Extremely important to us. And I ask for everybody here to listen to what will happen. I'm sure when you finish and go, you only said you wanted to see a fjord. When you go, we will still call a meeting. If you want to see someone a meeting of the that union president, everything will be discussed, but we assure you all the highest cooperation you need from this side. That is why I pleaded that he will be here and let everybody know that in front of them, the leadership has made a commitment that all we want is tell us today, flag off, we want to see this project, and thank you, because the last meeting we had with Mr. President, you were there.
His Royal Majesty, the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Nnaemeka Achebe, applauded the wonderful expression of a major aspect of the transformation agenda of the federal government through the Ministry of Works. He said while he recognized the huge traffic burden that would be lifted from Onitsha by a second Niger Bridge, surrounding communities would also benefit from the project. Next, the Minister of Works, Architect Mike Onolememen, took the good news of a second Niger Bridge and the call for cooperation from neighboring states to Delta. Governor Emmanuel Uduagha was ready with traditional Delta cooperation.
So I think it was possible we are going to start work tomorrow on site. We'll be very glad. We're very ahead of ability. So it's that way that work should start as soon as possible. Whatever we can fast track, therefore, with other studies, please let us try fast track it, because it's really challenging passing through this current bridge.
Many ears and eyes are turned towards the River Niger, and as the Ministry of Works goes through due process towards earnest commencement of work on a second Niger Bridge, one can only wish them good luck.
We have followed all the process. We have followed the best global practices, and we're going to deliver on this very, very soon. The President will flag it off. All the procurement has been done. So all these are part of measures that we are doing. We have a lot of multilateral agencies that are keen in with us. Ours is to identify a road, of course, together with them, and we're supposed to give our counterpart funding that we are doing. We are also engaging some multinationals to key into our road networks.
As we remind you that a second bridge, when it does traverse the River Niger, will be a huge realization of what the PPP can achieve. There is need to take you to a recent Nigeria-US Infrastructure Trade Mission parley at Nikon Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, which provided opportunity for the Minister of Works to get key officers of the ministry to rub minds with their American partners in progress, so to speak. The Americans were welcomed into discussions with officials of the Federal Ministry of Works and other stakeholders by the works team leader, architect Mike Onolememen, who was actually the brain behind the visit, duly endorsed by President Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR.
In fact, you can go into detailed discussions with them and areas where you guys can possibly collaborate and partner. I think that would be helpful. But in general, if you will be interested in public-private partnership, on the government side, the right person to talk to himself and the ICROC representative, the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, for they regulate public-private partnership. Then on my left is the Director of Public-Private Partnership in our ministry. So they are the two gentlemen you really need to sit down with. They let you into opportunities in public-private partnership as far as infrastructure development is concerned.
Introductions over. The Minister of Works left the group fully convinced that a proper forum for the benefit of road infrastructure was in session, just as other Nigerian ministries were having their sessions as well. Just before the minister left the session, a member of the American discussion team, Roger Blunt, had in his introduction expressed the American dream for Nigeria's road infrastructure. A construction guru was in his elements in the presence of Nigerian road masters.
Developed a plan and built an asphalt batching plant, a road building company that if you've ever been there, riding some of the arterial streets, Pennsylvania Avenue and the rest, and the reflecting pool and the rest, I've had my hand at that. I also had an engineering firm, civil engineering firm, where I was in road building inspection for the Transportation Department in New York, in Washington and whatnot. My point of it is I also had an engineering firm that designed bridges. It basically was Blunt & Evans, and I collapsed that into my construction company, and ultimately I built bridges right there in Washington and some other places. Not some of the big ones, but the substructure of the Choptank River crossing near Annapolis, right there in Washington by the Four Seasons Hotel, right by the Kennedy Center. I could go on and tell you this, but I am a civil engineer as well as a nuclear engineer.
Blunt gave reasons for joining the USA Infrastructure Trade Mission to Nigeria and disclosed he was setting up offices in Abuja and Lagos. Even he was aware of the transformation agenda of the Nigerian government and the immense opportunities it offers investors.
I'm here because I see a great opportunity for investment, an opportunity for us to do good and well and to help in an overall transformation agenda. That means training people and developing capability on the ground and teaming with reliable companies in country. And I know we can find them. They're here. And I think we respect them very much. Point of it is on a private-public partnership.
Following the minister's direction on the right persons to talk to in terms of PPP, the representative of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission brought the visitors up to speed on the PPP arrangement in Nigeria.
My name is Chidi Izu. I'm from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. If you would remember, I made a presentation in Washington, D.C.
I do.
Which was to go through what our process is. And luckily, this is Federal Ministry of Works Investors Manual. The key issue is we're looking for value for money. We're looking for strong sponsors. We're looking for sharing risk and rewards with the private sector. And, then we go into implementation. The Ministry of Works is, I would like to say, is the first ministry in Nigeria to set up and man her own PPP unit at the directorate level. So, and I want to give the Honorable Minister, the Permanent Secretary recognition for that. So this ministry is ready. They've got an active pipeline of projects. The business cases are finished. So you're looking at ready for market projects. Not ideas. Ideas don't get funded. What gets funded are bankable projects. So feel very free. And I can mention some of the projects they're working on. The second Niger Bridge, that's past the post because we've got a preferred bidder for that. You have the River Niger Bridge for Nupeko, which we're just about finishing the business case. You've got the Lagos-Isheyin Road. You've got the Golden Triangle. So you've got this series of roads where, real studies have been done to demonstrate, that the investment opportunity is there, that the risks are well understood, the risks are controlled, the private sector is in there. Then our role is to regulate that process through development, through procurement, and through implementation to ensure that you have the confidence that if you go into a deal on a concession for 20 years with this ministry, that nothing is going to go wrong and your interests will be protected.
Such was the zeal from the visiting team and interest from the Nigerian stakeholders, including officials of the Federal Ministry of Works, that the forum ended with clear indications that, among other things, the Ministry of Works, alongside its counterparts, was gearing up for more cooperation with reputable standard bearers on the road to good roads.
Yeah, so you don't have any problem coming in to invest in Nigeria because that enabling environment is there for you to invest and recoup your money over a period of
get a good return
30 years,
and leaving capability and capacity in place and growing in a sustainable way.
We're speaking with a gentleman who represents the private sector. He will duly introduce himself in a second. Can we meet you?
Sure. I'm Stephen Hayes. I'm president of the Corporate Council on Africa, which is the lead U.S. organization for this trade mission.
Oh, you're the right person for me to talk to, Steve. The very, very first question, what informed the commitment of the CCA to this?
Well, I mean, our mission as an organization, and we're the lead, we're called what's called the go-to organization in Washington on anything on Africa and business. So that's the natural part of it. Our mission is to increase U.S. investment in Africa. And certainly, you can't do it without Nigeria.
It's good to know that.
We recognize Nigeria as the most important country in Africa, especially as it regards business, and the opportunities here are just enormous.
I'm Bob Perry. I'm Vice President at the Corporate Council on Africa. We've had a very close relationship with the Embassy of Nigeria in Washington, representing the interests of Nigeria. We did a power forum in 2011. And in 2012, an agribusiness forum in April and an infrastructure forum in October. And at that time, Minister Mike Onolememen invited the Corporate Council on Africa to bring a trade mission to Nigeria. So we're here now with 17 different companies interested in different parts of infrastructure. Some are involved in ICT, IBM, Oracle, and Computer Frontiers. Others are involved in housing. We have 2 companies involved in bridge, Acro Bridge and Maybe, and other companies involved in other areas. So they know the opportunities here.
We supply prefabricated modular steel bridges all over the world. We supplied our solutions to over 60 countries across the globe. We're here in Nigeria because we're excited to potentially work with the Ministry of Works and other government organizations in the development of the infrastructure here. So that's why we're here.
I'm seeing fantastic reactions from the companies so far, and I'll be able to report more on that later. Another thing I should mention is this is not the only mission to Nigeria this year. There's another one coming in June.
Really?
So following very quickly, and I'm taking one out of here in April, going back to 4 cities in the United States.
Okay.
Similar types of themes.
As the Honorable Minister of Works made a presentation to the leaders of the American Infrastructure Trade Mission, and at an occasion which he spearheaded, he knew that while his ministry had gained immense outlook on a desired future, other Nigerian ministries and departments were happy about the gathering on improving infrastructure, all to ensure the execution of the pledge of transformation by President Goodluck Jonathan.
Make this presentation to the leader of the delegation, Mrs. Mike Onolememen, Ambassador Robert Kennedy.
But then, since charity begins at home, let's say that these days at the Ministry of Works, it is no longer a question of if the work will be done, but more of how quickly they are doing it once again. Speed, efficient speed, has become the watchword.